Welcome, traders. Welcome to Money Mitch. I'm Money Mitch. Of course, you guys can find me on Twitter at Story Investors. Welcome to the show, Zinger Nation. Let's go ahead. Tonight, we're going to be talking about, of course, our market sentiment. We're going to be going into notable earnings. We got some great ones to talk about. And then we're going to be talking about the story that is ARK Invest and Cathie Wood. The question that we're all starting to ask ourselves, is this the beginning to the end? And of course, we're going to get to our like goal. I hope we get our like goal today. Our like goal is going to be 75 likes for today. We're going to be talking about two story stocks, one that just recently came on my radar, and another one that I feel really has some gas behind the engine. So let's go ahead and let's get Money Mitch started. It's time for Money Making Mitch. When investors need a story, we're going to the moon. Welcome to Money Mitch, where story is everything. I'm here to find you the next opportunity. It's all about the green hands. Now, we all know the bull market is here to stay. Money Mitch. Welcome back, traders. Welcome back. Welcome back. Definitely smash the like button if you guys enjoy Money Mitch. Let's get into the market sentiment. Today, what a wild ride we had, guys. I know that you guys probably saw how we started the market looking really negative. It started coming down, but definitely that was all because of the tech stocks, really, and tech shares really leading the fight down, but mostly coming from worries of inflation and growth stocks really taking a beating. But one of the things that I've been seeing, guys, and it's a pattern that you guys out there, I'll put it out there. I gave it on SPAC's attack earlier today, but one of the things I've been seeing is that the market's been making moves in after hours and pre-market. And a lot of the times we're getting these strong reversals into the open. And so one of the things that I'd pay attention to is don't always just go off of pre-market charts. I think this happens a lot of the times where you get a just downward trend in pre-market and everybody starts thinking on the downward side. And then the next thing you know, the market opens up and it starts ripping right back up immediately, kind of that push back up. So this is a lot of has to do with that oversold and overbought kind of strategy. But one of the patterns that I'm definitely seeing out there is that pre-market and after hours movement. And that's really when the market's making moves. It's not even making it in the intraday. It's a lot of the times it's going to be on the after hours and that pre-market. So definitely look into that, guys. One of the things that I definitely want to talk about is the SPY right here. And let's go ahead up and bring up the chart there. One of the things that we can see is that we started coming back from that 422.82, and today we actually tested down closer towards that 410. But one of the things that we did see is kind of a push right back up. Let's see if we can get back up above this regression channel that we have here. And that's going to be really interesting to watch because really at the end of the day, we have this huge box that it can come down to and a smaller box where the resistance really is. But one of the things that I did see, and I'm going to go to the next slide for you guys to see a little bit more a close-up view here. Let me go ahead and slide to the next slide here. All right, so when we look at the hourly chart, so this is an hourly of the SPY, guys. So now you're going to start seeing a little bit closer and kind of the wicks that we've been having, guys. So a lot of times it's fighting to get over this 418 level right now. We had a couple wicks today that it tried to get above those levels and really couldn't. But if you look back, this isn't the only time that it's faced that resistance. It's faced this resistance multiple times. Really, it was only on this May 6th where it really kind of pushed up above it. Now we need to see if we're going to come back above this 418 or if we're going to keep coming back down and slowly trending back down towards these 400s. Maybe it takes a little while to get there and we go to like a 403, but we got to be careful here with the overall market making that pullback. We were really looking good here up at that 422. Let's see if we can get it back above this line tomorrow, which would be above the 420s and start pushing back towards that resistance of 422. One other chart that I'd show you guys is, of course, our Qs. Our Qs are very important because today we saw the NASDAQ really take off off on the Dow. The Dow got left in kind of just like, what just happened? Whoa. The NASDAQ really took off. And so this is what I want to pay attention to, guys. I want to see if our Qs can come really back up, because now on this one's a little bit different. The resistance is really up there. It's up there closer towards, let's say, that 350. And really the support is kind of closer. This line that I drew here, I think it could come down closer towards that if we get kind of a little sideways day tomorrow. I think we're going to be looking closer towards that line. And then I want to see if we can push back up towards those 350s, because I really think at the end of the day, we need those big tech leaders to really keep us moving in the overall market. Of course, this is going to be a really interesting chart to watch, because we had that quick turnaround. A lot of people are thinking that maybe growth is back here, but I have to say, you got to be careful there, guys, because a lot of the times when your emotions come into play in pre-market, they'll decide how you trade in the intra-market, especially for you day traders out there. I know that my man Spencer was trying to be a little bullish on pre-market prep, and maybe we had some other guys looking at it on the downside, but this is what it's always about. Sometimes it's just an extreme thought, and you have to go ahead and approach it like that and understand that, hey, if I'm a day trader, sometimes I can't be all mixed in this hoo-ha about the long term. And if you are a long-term trader, then maybe I can't get so stuck up on one day. One day's results doesn't really determine the whole overall market. And we did look bad this morning, but as you guys can see, we quickly turned around on a lot of stocks. Definitely want to go ahead and catch up with the chat here, guys. Hit the like. How we doing, Craig out there? It's Kyle, RG, Dutch, Edwin, Buddy, Lane. What's going on? I love to see my loyal viewers in the house. Smash the like button, hit the subscribe below. Also in the description below, you can find me, Story Investors, and definitely, guys, check out Benzinga Clips. I've been putting out an exclusive video on there only on Benzinga Clips. It tells you about my watch list. And one of the stocks that I'm going to be going into later, I actually gave it out this morning. So if you guys aren't following Benzinga Clips, definitely go ahead and do so. All right, let's go ahead. And when we return, guys, we're going to take a look at some earning plays. Who got the wins? Who got the losses? Who were the winners? I know that a lot of people were telling me if I was the one releasing the Fubo news on Benzinga. And no, that wasn't me. But we'll talk about the earnings when we return, guys. All right, welcome back, traders. Let's go ahead and let's get into some of the notable earnings. Like always, we definitely want to go ahead and look forward, but let's go ahead and let's talk about some of the ones that came out after the close. First up, I want to talk about Fubo. Hey, I know that you guys have probably been looking at my calls in Fubo. I really have been seeing this company come back down to kind of prices where it starts getting interesting. And as you saw today, the company did release the strongest first quarter in its history, delivering better than expected growth in subscribers, up 105% year over year, including 43,000 net additions in just this quarter alone. The total revenue was up 135% year over year to 119.7 million. And the advertisement revenue, which I really wanted to focus and I expected to see some high numbers here, was at 12.6 million, up 206% year over year. The quarter marked the first time that Fubo TV achieved subscriber and revenue growth at the same time in the first quarter. So definitely, guys, despite their seasonal trends and everything that's happening in the pandemic right now, we did see a drop off in a lot of the streaming. But as you see here, was spoken here by this is going to be the executive chairman. He says, as the shift of viewing from traditional pay TV accelerates, our differentiation in the marketplace, sports-focused programming, a tech-first, data-driven user experience, and the planned integration of wagering and interactivity. Really, it's all about the wagering aspect. That's what I wanted to focus on the earnings. When are they going to get this wagering aspect to us? And so they did talk about how that they remain steadfast on their mission to provide the world's most thrilling sports first live TV experience and the greatest breadth of premium content. And then, of course, and they include at the end there, integrated wagering. That's really what I want to see this company get to, and that's what we're going to focus on. But as you guys see, the ad revenue increase is real. And I've been seeing this ad revenue increase from a lot of different streaming services. We heard on the Google earnings and also the Facebook earnings that the ads were really, really good. And you're seeing it from a lot of companies. As you can see, a lot of people thought that maybe ads were going to kind of go away with all this kind of pandemic, but really we're starting to see some really kicking off numbers in the kind of the financials here. Next up, guys, I want to talk about Vizio. Vizio is one of the companies of my story stocks. And so I definitely want to talk a little bit about Vizio here. They released their financials. I'm going to talk a little bit about their highlights here. The net revenues increased 52% year over year to 505.7 million. Their Platform Plus net revenue increased 100% year over year to 52.2 million, and the gross profit increased 82% year over year. Net incomes declined 64% year over year to 3.3 million. So definitely they're pushing on the growth there. One of the things that I did want to talk about is that their SmartCast active accounts grew 57% year over year to 13.4 million. This is a really good number there. And as they're fighting to get that market share in your home, SmartCast hours grew 70% year over year to 3.6 billion. Now, one of the things that I did want to talk about is, and it was talked about by their chief executive officer, the CEO, our first quarter results demonstrate the success of our investments in our device and platform business. One of the things that they did talk about is that the quality of their team and the evolution of TV calling for this evolution of a streaming service. Of course, they're trying to make themselves sound really great here in their earnings, but this is something that they did do in this quarter that I thought was really interesting. They added 32 free ad-supported channels, including HSN, QVC, Fuse Sweat, and several from AMC's networks. As we all know, I mean, a lot of us pay for some services, and we have some streaming services at home. But if there's a lot of channels here to offer with that ad-supported, that's where they're going to get a lot of their ad revenues. Also, they'll be able to go ahead and sell those spots. But 32 free supported channels there, definitely something to keep an eye out. And one of the things that I've been watching, and they've been talking a lot about it, is their advertisement and how that's really a segment that's growing. That's one of the segments that keeps me interested, and one of the ones that I'm going to be watching. One of the things that you can see too is I'm looking for future partnerships in sports betting. Let's see if there's anything released in Vizio in the next quarter. All right, guys, let's go ahead and let's get into the next stock here on the earnings. Going to get into Unity. Unity is a stock, guys. A lot of people don't know what Unity is. So if you know what Unity is, let me know in the chat. Put a 1. If you don't know what the company does, put a 2. One of the things that I'd tell you guys is that Unity is a world-leading platform for creating and operating real-time 3D content. The platform really provides a comprehensive set of software solutions to create, run, and monetize interactive real-time 2D and 3D content for mobile phones, tablets, PCs, consoles, and augmented virtual reality devices. And what you really see right now is that they got their mobile phone game, and that's really what they're taking off on. So the first quarter highlights here, revenues were at 234.8 million, an increase of 41% in the first quarter of 2020. They create solutions and operate solutions, strategic partnerships, and other revenues were at 70.4 million, 146.6 million, and 17.8 million. So respectively, they're definitely going up. If you look at those year over year, that would be an increase of 51%, 40%, and 12% respectively. But one of the things that they did know, and this is not one of the best things that we want to see, is that they reported a quarterly loss of 10 cents per share, which beat the analyst consensus, but only by 2 cents here of an estimate of 12 cents. And these are losses, guys. So one of the things that did happen, though, in March of 2021, King released its first title built solely on Unity. If you guys don't know, this was the game maker of Candy Crush, and they released their latest title, which was the Crash Bandicoot. I don't know about you guys, if you guys played Crash Bandicoot in your time. I know I played it. I still have the game. I have it for the Wii now. So, hey, I like the old school one. So let me know what you guys thought of that release. One of the things for Unity is, of course, there are 3D platform. That's really where their value is. They talked about autonomous and some kind of different things that they can bring to vehicles also. So keep your eyes out on that, and we'll see how Unity kind of transitions into the vehicle. That's what they're really working on right now. They did do mentions of that multiple times. All right, guys, let's go ahead. I agree with you, Solar Up. We should have a coin for likes. We should give you guys a coin. I like that idea. I'll definitely bring that up. What's going on, guys? Am I using a Vizio monitor in the back? No, actually, I'll give you some insight. This is a TCL TV. These are very popular just because of the contrast, and that's why I chose it. But you guys let me know what you guys think. All right, let's keep going through here. I am seeing some mentions in the chat. I did see some 1s and 2s roll through there. So definitely smash the like button. Let's get into the last earnings here. I want to talk a little bit about EA here. So their bookings actually rose 18%. As you guys see, my dog Nala supporting EA here, talking about it. So one of the things that they did see is their bookings rose 18% to 1.49 billion. And one of the things that I saw is this Apex Legends. Let me know in the chat, guys. Have you guys ever played Apex Legends? Because it is growing massively here for EA, Electronic Arts. Their net bookings for their fiscal 2021 was up 6.19 billion, up 15% year over year, over 600 million above the original expectation. They delivered 13 new games and had more than 42 million new players joined the network during the fiscal year. Now, one of the things that has been stated is FIFA 21 is actually now up to more than 25 million console/PC players. I know I've played FIFA 21. Let me know, guys, if you guys are playing some FIFA. I like my soccer. I can't blame you if you like some soccer games. I think they're one of the best sports console games, so definitely let me know. Another thing is Apex Legends. Apex Legends has more than 100 million players life to date on its console and PC, and Season 8 had more than 12 million weekly average players. That's a massive data result there, and that's Electronic Arts that we're talking about here, guys. So, hey, it's interesting. You know, one of the things is EA has always been talked about being kind of more a sports related there, and Apex Legends really taking off there. You guys, 100 million players in the life is no joke, and definitely FIFA 21 with more than 25 million on their console. I'll definitely keep an eye out on EA. All right, guys, let's go ahead and let's get into the next segment of today. We're going to go ahead and talk a little bit about what ARK is, the story of ARK Invest and Cathie Woods, and the question that everyone's starting to ask, is this the beginning to the end? When we return, we'll go ahead and get into the story that is ARK Invest and Cathie Wood.
When you want to maximize your performance in the market, you need access to the highest quality tools and news available. Benzinga Pro stands out from all of the options you'll be presented with, and their instant access to market-moving news positions you to be prepared to take on the market in the best ways possible. Here's how it works. Benzinga Pro's news desk creates original news content that's available on your main news feed and gives you actionable information about companies you may want to invest in. This news desk information gives you the chance to beat the market, receive impactful news as it breaks, and jump on trending stocks before and as they rise. And beyond that, Benzinga Pro is packed with helpful features and unique insights that give you the best information possible. There's tools like the Live Audio Squawk, which streams every day with important news and timely updates, and the real-time news alerts that allow you to stay on top of every developing story you're keeping tabs on. Alerts and news will be sent straight to your inbox or delivered as live sound alerts. For those investors that want real-time, actionable, and breaking news about companies they may be looking to invest in, Benzinga Pro is the tool to use.
Welcome back, traders. Welcome back. Welcome back. And the question is my Aunt Cathie here, because that's what we refer to her here. That's our aunt right here. Is this the end? I'm sure a lot of you guys are starting to wonder and ask the question yourself, whether you've made some money with Cathie or you've lost some money in the last recent months with her buys. I just remember, and we can take a kind of a little story time here, guys, is that just a couple months ago, for a while, everyone was just buying anything Cathie or ARK Invest would buy. And it was literally like, I'll buy it and I'll make 7%. And this mentality really got into the investor's mind. And I think this is really starting to play a role in the questioning here. Is this the end? So a lot of us, we got to ask ourselves, do we want to go ahead and just follow one person just endlessly until the end? I don't think anybody really wants to go down with Cathie, but one of the things that you're going to see is that Cathie is invested. She has a lot of growth stocks in her portfolios, and the active ETFs are definitely keep adding and adding on growth stocks. So we need to start looking at these and wondering, asking ourselves questions like, which one of these could possibly be the one to really drag her down and make her sell a position and take a huge hit? So we're going to definitely watch these as we go ahead and get into some of the holdings that are in ARK. Let me know in the chat really quickly before we get into kind of ARKK. Let me know in the chat, guys. Are you guys bullish or bearish? Put a 1 if you're bullish, Cathie. Put a 2 if you're bearish, Cathie. I want to know the chat's opinion here. So definitely let me know, guys. One of the things is, and I'm going to catch up with some chat comments here. Let's catch up with some chat comments. Definitely Cathie is a wizard. Some people are saying, never estimate a woman. You can't underestimate a woman. Definitely not. I learned that one real quick, guys. What else we have? We got 5-year timeline being talked about. I definitely agree. That's one of the things she says she's not talking about right now. And she's making long-term positions. And that's something that we all got to keep in mind, right? Another thing that we can see, what else we got out there? Cathie's going down, Edwin says. Cathie's going down, Edwin says. We'll definitely take a look. That's the question, right? That's the question that we need to ask ourselves. One of the things that we're going to ask ourselves is what kind of stocks could bring her down. So let's go ahead and let's get into the next slide here so that we can talk a little bit about the actual holdings here. All right, guys. So go ahead and if you could put this full screen so maybe some people can read it. I know it's a little smaller. Maybe I should try to zoom in a little bit here, but I'll explain it, guys. Tesla, 10% here. Tdoc, 6%. Roku, 5%. And if you move down, you can go Square at 4%, almost 4.6%, Shopify at 3.8%, Zoom at 3.5%. And if you keep going down, Zillow, Spotify, Coinbase, and Twilio. And if you guys tell me out there, which one of these stocks is a value play? I don't think you'll see one there. I don't think there is one here, guys. So they're all growth plays, right? And if we could take a look, one of the things that we can see is that Tesla is 10% of the holdings here in ARKK. And we need to go ahead and see if is that too much in Tesla? Could that be the one that brings her down? Or maybe is these Tdoc and Roku positions the one that really brings her down? Let's take a closer look at some of these charts to see if we're seeing any signs of weakness and potentially could see one of these really take her down. So let's go ahead and let's get into the chart first. The chart here, ARKK. As we see, this is a weekly trend, right? And so I drew a line here. And one of the things that you want to see is a stock continue on kind of a trend, an upward trend, and not start this sideways period. That's what we really did start here, guys. We started this sideways period. The question is, do we hold on to the 100? I think that's so important. That price point right there, that $100 is going to be so important, because if we break that, I think we're going to come back down all the way down towards this level, closer towards this $60 price point. And if we come down towards the 60, there's going to be a lot of these stocks and a lot of these holdings that are going to be in the hurt. So let's go ahead and let's take a look here at some of these actual trading here and see what we see. One of the things is, if we did get a big bounce back today with a lot of volume, that itself could be a trend change right here. But one of the things I do see also is that we're right on the support. So if we break that later in the week or sometime next week, we could definitely start trending back down towards that 60. Let's take a look here at Tesla. Tesla is the 10% holding. One of the things I drew here was that sideways trend, right? We've had this sideways trend kind of still going upwards, but just today we started really breaking it. And so one of the numbers that I want to see Tesla hold is really, at the end of the day, 600. Right now, to me, that's my line in the sand. If we break 600, I think we could come back down to 550 and 450, maybe even come back down to 300 in Tesla. And if that were to happen, definitely, this could be one that could drag Cathie down. So definitely we have to wonder, is this the position, guys, at 10%? And just to give you guys an idea, she's in that market price is at 629 with 4 cents. So she's slightly above here, guys, just slightly. And we know it. Hey, a quick drop to 500. I mean, you know how many shares this is? This is 3.4 million shares, guys. This is no little share size. If she gets a 100-point drop in this stock, it's going to be a big question onto if she's going to be able to hold on to that position in Tesla. So definitely, that's one that I'd keep on watch. You just don't know what's going to happen there. Next one up in her major holdings is Tdoc. Tdoc is one that we definitely need to keep a watch on, because this one was a pandemic driver and now has really turned around and quickly, guys. This was in kind of that mid-February time, and we've gone straight down in the last 2 months. So the question is, will this 135 really hold? You know, you could go back to the prior resistance and see a sideways time there. Let's see if this holds, because if this doesn't hold, I think we come back down and we test 100. Now, one of the things you do see is kind of the volume starting to uptrend here, but not really spiking. So let's see if we can get this to curve back and kind of create a kind of sideways period right here in the 150s. Curve right back up there and look like we're going to curve back up to 200. That's what you would want to see. This stock, I'm not too negative about, because one of the things that I did see is that Tdoc, a lot of it had to do with kind of getting patients, also a lot of kind of medical contracts and kind of the bills and kind of the signatures, all that stuff is going through a lot of that Tdoc now. And they're going to continue doing this, I think, even after the pandemic. So the story isn't the worst, but really it's a story that can change. And I just don't know if it's going to be valued at this kind of 150 anymore, or if Tdoc is more of a $100 stock. I do think that it can hold kind of a 100 level, but it could come back down and at least test that 100. So we got to be careful there in Tdoc. I'm going to catch up with the chat. I'm seeing a lot of people mention Coinbase. Coinbase is definitely one that could cause that bomb. I mean, you guys could bring it up. I like that you guys are bringing up some stocks that you guys are watching, but definitely it could be one that caused the downside. Now, the next one that I think could actually save her, make Cathie the hero, because I think that's also important. It doesn't mean that she's going to completely go away, because one of the things that she has been doing is she has been averaging down and getting into better positions. And so the question here is, with Roku, do we get a drive back up here from this 300 level? If we look at her Roku position, she's in at 301.41 with 3.45 million shares. And that's not actually that bad looking on this chart. You have a support right underneath it. And this was actually a stock that I think can come back. And even though it's a growth stock, I think it has a great story right now with kind of the Roku channels. I mean, this is a Roku TV that I'm using right now, guys. So there's a reason why I believe in Roku. And I think if there's any stock that could bring it back around for my Cathie fans out there, it's definitely the Roku right here. I think Roku could get back up there. I had earlier in the year, and I'm going to stick to it, guys. I could be wrong about Roku here, but I put out a 500 price target for Roku by the end of the year, and I'm going to hope and stick by that. Like always, guys, right or wrong, I'm going to stick by that target. But I think Roku could be one that could bring it back. What do you guys think? Put a 1 in the chat if you guys think Roku could bring back Cathie here, as it looks like a good position here. I don't really necessarily am too mad about this Roku position. All right, catching up with the chat. What's going on? Let's get these likes up, guys. If not, we're not going to be able to get into our next segment, which is our story stocks. Some of these story stocks have already made bigger moves than 40%. So definitely we want to get up there. Hit the like. Let's get things rolling here. All right. So the next question I have is, what do you guys think about ARKK? ARKK is definitely one that I'm watching. There's a reason why, guys, and I haven't really liked this space exploration ETF. You know, it hasn't really included all the things that I thought it would include. You know, we had a lot of SPACs that we thought were probably going to be included in this. But if you actually see, 8% is in Trimble, but 6% is in her own ETF, which is PRNT. And that's not an active ETF. That is a passive one based on an index for the 3D. But I just don't like that she's holding kind of her same ETF inside of her ETF. An ETF inside of an ETF. I mean, it really isn't my preference. I mean, but one of the things that I can point out, and I can point it out in this one, is that I think she finally got some more balancing in this ETF. There's names like Lockheed, Boeing, that I don't think are going away anytime soon. I mean, we can all kind of agree on that. That's not going away anytime soon. And another one in here that's an interesting one, and I'll keep an eye out in it, is JD, because JD really did take a hit for a while, but has now kind of balanced out. And I did see that Cathie was adding Baba. And so keep an eye on it. Maybe this is actually a position that she actually starts getting some strength in. And so these are the ones that I'm going to be concerned about. The biggest thing is that PRNT. And, you know, and let's see what happens really with 3D printing, because we've been seeing some 3D printing names really take a hit on the downside. But later on today, I will mention one of these growth stocks that did get a move, and it is in the 3D printing. So definitely, guys, let's hit the like so we can get to our story stocks. When we return, we'll get to the story stocks. That is the best part of this show, because at the end of the day, that's when I can give you guys a stock to go ahead and do some research. So definitely hit the like, guys. We'll be back, and then we'll see if we can get into the story stocks.
When you want to maximize your performance in the market, you need access to the highest quality tools and news available. Benzinga Pro stands out from all of the options you'll be presented with, and their instant access to market-moving news positions you to be prepared to take on the market in the best ways possible. Here's how it works. Benzinga Pro's news desk creates original news content that's available on your main news feed and gives you actionable information about companies you may want to invest in. This news desk information gives you the chance to beat the market, receive impactful news as it breaks, and jump on trending stocks before and as they rise. And beyond that, Benzinga Pro is packed with helpful features and unique insights that give you the best information possible. There's tools like the Live Audio Squawk, which streams every day with important news and timely updates, and the real-time news alerts that allow you to stay on top of every developing story you're keeping tabs on. Alerts and news will be sent straight to your inbox or delivered as live sound alerts. For those investors that want real-time, actionable, and breaking news about companies they may be looking to invest in, Benzinga Pro is the tool to use.
All right, guys. All right. As we come back here, I wanted to wrap up Cathie here as we get those likes up to the goal. The goal is 75 today, guys. I'm seeing about 55 likes right now. So definitely, if you guys want to get to the story stocks, hit the like. If not, we'll be wrapping up with Cathie here. I did see some mention of Workhorse. Victor Martinez, I did see your question. Do you know where she stands with her workhorse position? She's actually been selling some of that workhorse position. As we know, she opened that position after she thought that Akash really wasn't going to get the contract. I think we're all waiting to really find out what happens with that post office contract. But really, I think this was a matter of her realizing, hey, let's sell some shares in Workhorse. Let's put that money to work somewhere else that we feel we could really kind of get that money back. Because really right here, it's just not doing anything. And if you guys look at the Workhorse chart, that's been a dog. And this was a stock that I really loved. I mean, Workhorse was a stock that I brought up on. That's how I found Pre-Market Prep and Benzinga, guys. That's how I got my original story investor's name, was really Workhorse. That's what really got it all started, guys. So we'll see if Workhorse can come back. I'll let you guys on some insight. I'm actually in the works right now with my man, the CFO, Steve Schrader, to get him on Money Mitch here for Workhorse later on in the month. One of the things I'm waiting for is, of course, earnings and some kind of new catalyst to play. But I will be bringing on Steve Schrader here, the CFO of Workhorse. So definitely stick with Money Mitch. Hit the like. Let's see where we're at and the like, so if we can get into the story stocks, or we'll wrap it up today. All right, we're at 64 likes. We need 10 more, guys, 10 more. So definitely smash the like. If not, we will be wrapping up in the next minute or so. So definitely, guys, if you guys want to see, I'll let you guys know. One of these stocks, I really feel like it has some gas. Some people are calling the reopening the roaring 20s. And if we're really going to get into that, we need you guys to support us and hit the like. So I'll refresh right here. If not, we'll go ahead and wrap it up here. Looks like we're at 73. We need 2 more, guys. 2 more likes. 2 more. Can we get it? Can we get it? I need you guys to support me. There it is. There it is. It showed up. I love you guys just like you guys are loving me back. The Money Mob sticks together, guys. Sticks together. So let's keep going. Let's get into our story stocks here. All right, guys, let's go ahead and let's get into the story stocks. So, of course, we just talked about what stock this is. So this is the gas. Let me bring you guys the gas first, right? So the story here, the story is LYV, Live Nation Entertainment. So the company actually recently earned an upgrade from Jefferies to a buy from a hold, as well as a price target hike to 96 from 88. The brokerage firm noted that it expects an epically strong year of concerts in 2022 as more Americans get the COVID-19 vaccine and states lift restrictions for the indoor and outdoor gatherings. So one of the things that I'm looking for, and this is why I like this stock, is that I think you're going to see a lot more concerts come out as you get closer and closer to June. As you get closer, what you're going to see is states lifting restrictions and having the ability to actually run some good concerts. So right now, I am seeing some concerts come out. As you guys know, I'm in Colorado, so one of the biggest venues of the nation is Red Rocks. Red Rocks is one of the biggest venues, and we are seeing a decent amount of concerts starting. I even got some tickets, so I'm looking forward to getting some concerts. So really, one of the plays that I'm seeing with Live Nation is that we had this uptrend in February, and we came back down, and we've had these 3 bottoming attempts here. So you had this bottoming attempt at the 81s, this bottoming attempt at the 78s, and now a bottoming attempt at 75. And one of the things I always look for is some strong volume with that push off support. That's exactly what you're getting here. And now you're getting this MACD to really cross over. I think you're going to see a nice rip out in Live Nation. And one of the things that I want to state about Live Nation is that, guys, this is a company that I really expect to get big in NFTs. They're not just yet, but this is something that I could really see them getting around. One of the things that I've been talking about is how NFTs could really come into play, let's say just for concert tickets. concert tickets should be NFTs now. There should be no physical ticket that I'm getting. It should be a digital NFT. And so that way, when the show's over, that you can give limited NFTs to, let's say, the front row guest, and then they can go ahead and retrade that to get some value out of their ticket. This is some moves that I think you could start seeing in Live Nation here. So one of the things that I'm going to be looking for is, do we start seeing that NFT talks? One of the things I will see is that concerts in general are going to bring people together. And I think that's really what we're all looking for. We're all looking for music to really lift our spirits, unite us again, get this feeling of togetherness, and just watch, guys. It's going to turn into Woodstock here, guys. We're going to start seeing concerts go all over. There's going to be a lot more outdoor concerts. That's what I think you're going to see. Not so many indoor venues. Those venues might struggle a little bit because of restrictions, but outdoor venues, outdoor festivals, you're going to see them take off. And I think Live Nation is going to be behind a lot of these moves. So like I mentioned, a lot of people have been talking about the Roaring 20s being related to the reopening play. I'm going to say they just might not be wrong on that. We just might have it. And one of the things that might kick us off is music here, guys. Watch how music takes a part in the reopening, in the economic boom that we're going to get into going into the last quarter of this year and going into 2022. All right, guys. So definitely, I'm seeing some people letting me know, got to get those vaccines up. Don't worry, I got my Fauci ouchie. I'm loaded in, so I'm ready to get to my concerts. But definitely, we got to go ahead and get those vaccines up. What about Vivid Seats? Carl's mentioning Vivid Seats. One of the things I tell you about Vivid Seats is that I just don't see them capturing kind of something else, something more. So really, Vivid Seats is going to have a little bit of a struggle because regardless if restrictions get lifted, we're not going to go to 100% capacity. That's not, I don't see that happening. But one of the things I do see happening is that NFT play. I just don't see it in Vivid. I don't see how they're going to be able to really grab that NFT game. And I just don't see that they even have a chance in grabbing it. So that's why I'm going to stick here more with Live Nation. And if you want to check out another one, maybe you can check out Madison Square Entertainment, MGSE. That one's not the worst one if you want to take a look at a different play here. All right, so the last story stock, guys. Let's get into the last story stock. Right here, I'm going to talk about Box. Why am I going to talk about Box, guys? This is BOX. This is the play that recently came on my radar. Why? Because I was seeing that the data collection was actually making an up move when all technology was going down. This is something that I would look for, guys. When I look for a sector going down, I usually find somewhere within that sector an industry that is actually going up, and cloud-based data was actually moving upwards yesterday when we were getting that down hard action. So if you look at this chart, you got a quick reversal here at this $21, and it's starting to push up here. Now, one of the things that I would state is that you did get a crossover here on the MACD, a volume push here a day prior, and now we need to go ahead and see this volume continue to grow. I would love to see the next days come in and somewhere get into the 12 million shares traded here for Box. But really, Box is in a competition right now because they just got a recent investment from KKR to invest $500 million in the software provider. And this is really because there's a battle right now between Starboard that wants to take over this company and wants to take over 3 more board seats on the upcoming election, guys. So if you want to know a little bit more about Box, they're in this fight right now with their management because Starboard thinks that they're just not running the company right. They're not doing the things correctly, and that they need to change kind of the management to get that growth that they want. KKR just invested that $500 million, giving them access to that stake. And then, so really kind of fighting back there. So there's this big fight here. But one of the things that you want to focus on is this company did get a gigantic industry tailwind with kind of the pandemic. but it didn't grow as fast as we expected it to. It only grew at that 11% rate when we should have seen somewhere closer towards 30, 40% great growth. So I'm going to see if there's a laggard play here. And the laggard play, what you want to see is that it really starts just getting a drive. And so one of the times when I play the laggard play, a lot of the times I want to see a straight rip out. So if I got in on this stock, let's say somewhere between 21 or 22, I'd want to see this stock in 1 to 2 days really quickly get up to the resistance. Show me that you want to take off, not just start uptrending. Why? Because this stock really doesn't have the best story overall for investors, but I do think that the story can change here and they could start seeing that tailwind show up on the bottom line. So I'm going to be focusing here to see if Box can really rip through here and get up towards that $25 level. And it's on Box. It had a good day today, guys. If you guys will see, I put out that exclusive watch list on Benzinga Clips. I talked about this one. You could have been watching this one this morning. And as you can see, not a bad move today. So definitely, guys, stick with Money Mitch. I'm going to keep going through these story stocks and giving you guys the best that I can find out there, what information I can find, where the trends I think are going. And that's really what it's about, guys. You guys can do the same. So definitely check out your Google Trends. Check out ways that you can stay with the social trends, because really, I know that growth is going away, but I think the social trends of stocks will definitely not go away. I know there's been mention of the SEC kind of changing that, but I don't think it's going to get changed, guys. We got to stay with the social. So definitely hit the like button if you guys like to hear trading ideas like this, and let me know in the comments below, because that's why I do it, guys. If not, I'll keep the story stocks to myself and I'll try to make these plays. But really, that's what I try to do, guys. The 3-variable approach: story, fundamentals, and technicals, so that you guys can get the best opportunities out there. Like always, guys, at the end of the day, I'm here with story stocks, and I'm here to teach you guys how to really attack this bull market. I think the bull market is here to stay. Even if we do get a pullback, I see it maybe a 5% retracement, but of course not the market crash that a lot of people are worried about. Today, we did go into Cathie Wood, which is going to be an interesting story this next couple of years as we see, does she become the hero and the zero, or if we get kind of this in-between game where some people like her, some people don't. But I think at the end of the day, it's going to be a hero or zero type of game. She's either going to be the best of the best, or maybe she's just going to go away. All right, guys. So like always, definitely hit the like button. I'll be back with you guys tomorrow. And remember, there's always an opportunity out there, and Money Mitch is here to help you find it. All right, guys. We'll see you next time on Money Mitch.